we are overall constructive. So on the back of, as Emily mentioned, a strong Q4 GDP data from China. So we definitely see the key factor of EPS growth are really helping the overall equities market. There are a few other key themes we are emphasizing to our client base. First is the industry leader continue to take market share, and also the innovation really armed with the due circulation and the 14th five-year plan will help the sector related to innovations. And a little bit longer term is really the equitification, if you will, in terms of the major transfer of wealth domestically into the equities, fixed income, mutual fund, and the insurance industry. So this will bring trillions of dollars into equities market. So overall constructive, but it comes with the valuation. We're watching it very closely. Our optimistic view for CSI 300, for example, is close to 6,000. So that implies 10% upside growth. But when it reaches that level, so we need to be cautious in terms of market getting ahead of the fundamentals.
You mentioned innovation as one of your themes, but innovation is a very broad brush umbrella. For someone who might be watching this show and thinking, I'm interested in innovation, but how exactly do I invest in it? Could you give us a little bit more detail?
Sure. It's very much fundamental driven. So through the conference, collecting all the major sectors around the core technology, we definitely see with the COVID and also with the overall how the world is being transformed and going back to normal. So we have seen, for example, EV value chain has been a very key investment theme. Renewable energy, along with the China carbon neutrality goals, and also the new administration of the US coming back to Paris Accord. So this is another theme we're definitely looking at. Going a little bit deeper, for example, data center with the COVID and the remote learning, working and the study. So those will be some of the key areas really investors are looking into.
Thomas, interested to know which sectors you think are most overstretched in terms of value.
Well, there are a few. I think overall we are relatively underweight internet sector on the back of both valuation, just the overall sentiment, and also the regulatory uncertainties. So this, so we are not reducing it, but it's really overweight versus where they already have in terms of the relatively high valuations. We're also relatively cautious looking at the banking sector, but at the same time, this year, as you can see, some of the banks with strong momentum are already differentiating themselves and start to ramp up. You know, some of the stock are up 10% year to date.
And do you have a view actually on property management stocks? Because they were something of a runaway story last year, but with these recent curbs on property developers by authorities in China, do you think it's more of a dismal outlook for 2021? Well,
property sector, we are of the view the Chinese policymakers are very serious in terms of property is there to live, not to speculate. So that set a theme in terms of the overall growth, in terms of the size, and also in terms of valuation. And then the property management sector as a derivative of that sector definitely will have a unique position in terms of growing the service sectors overall for the economy. But it does have a overall cap in terms of how big this sector can potentially grow as well.